Well, good morning everybody. Welcome to yet another airport review video. Today we're on Southwest Africa, on the south coast of West Africa. This is Ghana, and this is Accra. It's the capital of Ghana. And this is Kotoka International Airport, Delta Golf Alpha Alpha. It's a new scenery. In fact, it's one of two new sceneries by the Flight Sim Development Group, or Fsdg, and I'll be looking at both of them this week. This one, Accra in Ghana, and the other one is Enfida, which is in Tunisia, which is a light version, so we'll be looking at both sceneries, but today we're concentrating on Accra. So as I say, Kotoka International Airport in Accra, Ghana. This is a Payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, or Fsdg for Flight Sim 2020. The download is 681 megabytes and it installs at 2.37 gig. Now, Fsdg have this strange installation procedure where they have a batch file to locate your community folder. And because I bought both the sceneries at the same time, I installed the one and suddenly found I couldn't install the other. So there are all sorts of little issues going on. However, hopefully you won't have that problem. But suffice it to say, with Fsdg, when you download the zip, having purchased it, there's a batch file that locates your community folder and then allows you to run the install routine, and hopefully all will be okay and you won't have the problems I had. Prices, okay, Euro 21.42, which equates to $23.25 US, or around £17.94. Those prices include tax and VAT at 19%, but this may vary depending on your country of purchase. And those prices are the prices available from Fsdg online, their own site, which I'll put up the link to. You can purchase it off Sim Market, but it's slightly higher. We're only talking a few percents really. But Fsdg online is the cheapest of the two places to buy it. So as ever, let's start with a little bit of history. Interesting airport, this place, with some interesting history behind it. So Kotoka International Airport serves the city of Accra, the capital of the African state of Ghana, which is located on West Africa's southern coast. It's the only international airport in the country. Operated by Ghana Airports Company Limited, or GACL, who have offices on the airport, it serves as a hub for regional domestic airline Africa World Airlines and as a base for domestic airline Passion Air. Over 24 passenger airlines and 6 cargo airlines from around the world operate into Accra. The airport has 2 passenger terminals. Terminals 2 and 3. Terminal 2 hosts domestic flights, while Terminal 3 serves international, regional and long-haul operations. The old Terminal 1 is no longer in use, but there are plans in progress to redevelop the terminal into a fixed-base operation, or FBO. Terminal 3 has capacity for large aircraft such as the Airbus A380. There's also a very, very important person, or VVIP terminal, used for diplomatic flights, and a military terminal used for military operations. In 2019, the airport served a record 3 million passengers, although this decreased to around 2.1 million in 2021 due to COVID. Originally, the airport was a military airport used by the British Royal Air Force during World War II. The facility was handed over to civilian authorities after the war. A development project was launched in 1956 by the then President Kwame Nkrumah to reconfigure the airport structure into a terminal building. The project was completed in 1958, turning the military base into an airport with a capacity of 500,000 passengers a year. The airport was originally named Accra International Airport. The newest terminal was opened in September 2018 with 6 boarding bridges and a capacity for up to 6.5 million passengers per year. In 1969, Accra International Airport was renamed Kotoka International Airport in honor of Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwazi Kotoka, a member of the National Liberation Council. Kotoka was killed in an abortive coup attempt in April 1967 at a location which is now the forecourt of the airport. There's also been considerable debate over the years as to whether it was fitting to rename the airport. Many argue that the airport was built by Nkrumah, the original president, and that it is not fitting to name it after Kotekar, who led a coup to overthrow Nkrumah's government. Runways. The airport operates a single runway, 2103, which is 11,175 feet long, or 3,406 meters, and it's made from asphalt. And we're looking down the throat of runway 21 here. This is the only runway that has a standard ILS equipped option. It also has RNAV and VOR options available. Runway features high intensity airfield lighting system version 2 and precision approach path indicators, a single bar on the runway's left side, so you can see the single bar on the left side. And this is version 2 of the high intensity approach lighting. We've also got centerline lighting, touchdown zone lighting as well, and runway end identifier lights too. Again, pretty much as per the chart, so this is correct. And the runway is grooved as well. So runway 03 features airfield lighting system, ALS, which is a standard. As you can see, it's not quite the same as the one at the other end. And again, precision approach path indicator on the left side of the runway. And again, we've got centerline lighting, and the runway is grooved as well right towards the end. There's also a slight displacement here. So runway 03 has RNAV and VOR options as well. So 21 has the only ILS, 03 has RNAV or VOR options. So there's some of the history for you. Ghana, Accra International Airport in the capital of Ghana in southwest Africa. I've had a look over this airport. As per many flight sim development group sceneries, they do make extensive use of photoground scenery. But actually in this product it seems to work quite well. As you can see, just briefly before we start looking at it closely, here you can see quite an extensive use of a ground photo map. But they've also developed the airport really well. It's accurate, all the buildings are accurate, lots of clutter as well, and hotels and bits and pieces around the airport too. The main terminal, airside, is developed with passengers and stuff that we'll look at the moment. So it's quite a reasonable development. It's quite a large project, and well worth looking at. So let's get down onto the ramp and have a good look and see what it looks like down from the bottom. So here we are. We're going to start from the very end of threshold of runway 21 and track southwards, just so you can have a look at the extent of what's been done here. There's a lot of stuff, probably the wrong word, but as you can see, the airport's been under development in the real world for some time, and it would appear that Fsdg really have sort of taken this to heart. And here, if we just travel southwards, you look at the amount of detail and scenery that's been put into this, and it looks really great. This is the old Terminal 2 in the middle here. There's the control tower. And now we come to the newest of the terminals, Terminal 3, with the 6 docking bridges. Again, you can see there's also some static aircraft. And everything looks really nice. The ramp has got the right amount of debris and clutter. Here's the cargo building, which is the very southern end of the airport. Again, quite a bit of detail here. I mean, it looks really quite impressive. So now we're coming up to runway 03 threshold there on the left. As you can see, there's quite a bit of detail, and as I've seen before, it's often hard to sort of tell the difference between what's default Asobo scenery and what is Fsdgs in this case. Okay, here you can see moving cars and lots of photo cars as well, which kind of spoil the illusion when you're up close, but when you get down lower, when you get sort of higher up, it's not too bad at all. So let's just have a little track along here. Just have a closer look at some of the detail on the ramp area. As you can see, it's quite impressive. This is the cargo area we just passed, and we're now heading north. As you can see, the buildings, the layout of the airport, the way it's all been done is really quite nice. Just doing it really slowly here so you can have a good look at the detail. Lots of ramp clutter, the right amount of clutter. Can't see too much in the way of moving vehicles. We might be able to see that later. Let's get closer to the terminal now. Now if you look carefully, you can see the inside here has been developed. There are passengers, people and things which we'll look at shortly inside the terminal. Detail is pretty good, the models look good too. Jetways, I haven't tested the jetways, but I'm told they work. And here you can see the airside roads, the detail and the ramp markings there with the different aircraft things. Really, really good. As you can see, they have the right aircraft there as well in terms of statics that operate into and out of this airport. Going past Terminal 2 now. And this is where the old Terminal 1 is, this area here, which to say is being redeveloped supposedly as such. So very nice detail here, really nice. Let's swing landside. This is the fuel farm. As you can see, you've got hotels and other things. So we're now going to go landside of the terminals. So again, lots of photo scenery which doesn't look too good here at low level. But as you look higher up, it works better. Lots of signage here. And to be honest, it looks fine. It doesn't look too bad at all. Okay, it's not Fly Tampa or Pyro Dev Company, but it's not bad at all. Lots of parking space, the lighting, trees, very nice. There's the entrance to the airport going in there. As you can see, got the appropriate signs all over the place. Now coming to the main or the newest passenger terminal. And as you can see, development is really nice. There's the old Ghanaian DC-10 sitting there on the right. We'll have a look at that model in a minute. Now we'll just go across the upper deck, which is the departures level. Nice to see some parked cars, good detail on the roads, signs, crisp and clear. Very nice. Now going towards the cargo area. Look at the weathering on that roof. It does look good. And Swissport has the main handling here. So as you can see, the photo scenery, yeah, it's low resolution and it doesn't look quite so good close up. There's the building on the left that houses the operating company. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Let's go a little further landside and swing around to have a look at some of these hotel buildings. Come up a little bit. There's a bank, Vodafone buildings. Lots of accurate structures that exist at the real airport that are here. And they've been done well. They have been done well. And there you've got the crane there because they're still doing some work. but it looks really nice, and it helps to make the scenery more believable, if I can put it that way. Very impressive. Really like it. I mean, Fsdg are known for some good sceneries, notably Mauritius, which I also reviewed some last year, I think it was. And they've done a lot of work, and it shows here as well. Their modelling is getting much better in Flight Sim 2020. So just going back towards the airport now. Here's the old DC-10 that's sitting there. It's stunning. It really is very nice. Good modelling. And because of the quality of the modelling, I think really I can accept the fact that they've got low-res ground textures. But they've done pretty well, as you can see. They've done the roads near the terminal and improved that. We've got solar panels on the roof there. Really does look nice. So here's a quick look at the main Terminal 3 here, looking from airside into the terminal. As you can see, there's development in there, passengers, signs and seats. We'll have a look. So as you can see, there you go, you've got seating, signs, hoardings, loads of people, absolutely loads of people here. And looking down the other direction there, okay, they're all static models, but it looks great, it really does look great. So we take a slow pan down the terminal here. You guys, you see they're queuing for the gate there. It all looks pretty believable. It looks really quite good. Departures and arrival signs on the right, and not totally high res, but they're readable. This all looks really good. Gonna track down a little bit further and just see if there are any shops or anything. The other end behind me, they had vending machines on the wall at the very end of the terminal. Just want to go down here past the gate and see exactly what we've got. So here we've got Charlie 4 gate. They're just looking into the gate, and there's the airline check-in point. And here we're just looking at the airline desk. You can see they've got the computers and they've got details on them. And there's the pathway down the jet bridge to go onto the aircraft. Looks quite nice too. So let's continue our tour. There's an awful lot of people here, but then this was a very busy airport. But it looks good. The seating looks nice. It's really, really nice. The signage, everything looks good. Let's maybe speed up a little bit. So get to the very end here. There we go, and as before, you've got vending machines. So this is the lower level. As you can see, they've got escalators there too. We'll have a quick tour down here. Much the same as the upper level. The vending machines on the left there. Does look good though. And you can see out through the glass there to airside. The effect is really nice. Very impressive, very, very nice indeed. Okay, this is a lounge, an airside lounge. Very nice, vending machines there. But as you can see, the middle of the terminal, the sort of bulk of it really, there's nothing in between, not even a roof. So you've got airside here where they've done the development inside the terminal, which looks very nice. And it's on all 3 floors. And there you go. So basically there's the void between airside and landside. But that's fine. It's absolutely fine. Really appreciate the work that they've done to show passengers in the bridges. You know, you'll see those when you park up in the aircraft, and it will add to the realism. But here we are looking at landside of the main Terminal 3. As you can see, there's a lot of work been done here. There's lots of buildings, bits and pieces, many of them as they are in the real world. I believe that DC-10 is a restaurant now, which is why it's there. Can't find much research about it, but as a scenery, I mean, look, this looks good. There's an atmosphere about it that looks really good. We'll definitely have to fly in here. Fsdg may not be the tops, but they are up there with the rest of them. They're good scenery developers. They've clearly looked at this, and it's really nice to see a big African airport, or a major African airport like this, being done in such nice detail. Everything right down to the little signs and the cars. Let's have a look inside the control tower there, see if there's anything inside. Okay, nothing in the control tower there, but it all looks, it works. Okay, it's low res, and it would be nice to have seen this to be developed more, a little bit more. But it works, and it looks good, right down to the rotating white and green beacon on the roof there, the weathering slightly on the building here. Here you've got your satellite dishes. It just looks great. So as you can see, the ground signage, ramp signage looks great. We're just going to traverse across the runway to the other side. This is the military apron. That's the fire station. Military apron here is behind, look. And the same attention to detail they've done. They've got the big Hind helicopter there, a couple of C-130s. Looks like a Black Hawk helicopter, I think. There's a little DC-9. Very nice indeed. And as you can see, it fits in with the airport. It looks really good. Just looking the other way, nice hangar down there. Just looks great. It looks really impressive. Okay, so we've had quite a nice little tour around the airport here at just after midday. Let's lower the lighting now and have a look and see what it looks like at dusk when the lights come on. Okay, 6:15 in the evening local time, and here's just a shot from height to see what we can see. As you can see, the lights have come up. From here everything looks pretty reasonable. You can still see the green centerline taxiway lights, the blue edge lights on the runway here. The ramp looks pretty good, and you've got lighting as well on the stands, and nice to see the signage lit up too. And looking in the other direction there, you can see the highway's been lit. There's hangar lighting here on the military side, and looking there towards the coast. Very nice indeed. It looks great. So let's get down closer to the ramp and have a tour across the ramp and see what the lighting's like. So this end, we'll take a couple of static sort of images for you to look and see how it is. There you see you've got the tall lights at the top there, and again the source is correct. They're actually lighting up the correct area. We still have good ramp markings here, lots of oil scrubs as well. The stand signs are lit. Even some of the building signs are lit as well. There's some nice soft lighting around here which looks good. I come up a bit higher and you can now see the fuel farm here, and the car park's really nicely lit. The colouring was really good. And this building here you've got the signs. We'll look at this end in a moment. There's a highway going into the city, and you can see the runway here, the blue airfield edge lights, the centerline lighting, It looks really good here. So there's a look at the signage and the car parks coming into the airport. And here you can see the revolving green and white light, and these signs are all nicely lit up. And there we are looking across the main new Terminal 3, and again it looks great. And look at the lighting, the way they've done this so that you get this kind of tungsten orange colour, which looks great. The ramp itself looks good, terminal's lit, the roads are very, very nicely done, and here all of these buildings are nicely subtly lit. So we're going to do a little ramp tour. Here you've got a couple of static aircraft. This is a good example there. A-Sky is an African airline, 737-800 there. Well, I think that's a 700 actually. Ethiopian, these are airlines that regularly visit Ghana. I just want to come out here and go across the ramp and have a look at the terminal. So here you can see lighting inside the airside area there, where the people would be too. The airport sign is lit up. Plenty of adequate lighting here on the ramp, so no problems parking. But that new terminal looks pretty good. Let's swing out and have a look at the ramp itself. As you can see, centerline taxiway lights, blue edge lights, everything looks good. You're not going to have any trouble taxiing around in the dark here. Just coming up to the runway. As you can see, the runway signage is good, including the red stop bars. And there you can see the taxiways clearly marked if you're coming off the runway too. So just a quick look down the runway. This is perfectly acceptable. It's not going to be a problem at all. It's a nice, it's nicely done here. So there's a nice high level shot showing you the airport terminal area, and there's our first moving car, complete with obstruction light on the top. It does look good. It looks really good. So let's drop it down to night time now and have a look, see what it's like in the real darkness, and just see how much of the lighting comes up again. Okay, here we are, 10 PM local time. It's well dark now. As you can see, the lighting has come up slightly more, but the subtleness hasn't changed. The airport looks really good. Everything is really well defined. I have to say, the runway and taxiways, exit signs and everything here, given the darkness, is probably some of the best defined that I've seen in some sceneries. And if you look at this, the centre line, the runway edge, the green centre line taxi lights, stop bars, everything here is really well defined. We're pretty dark here. Africa gets pretty dark at night. And everything is so well defined. Add to that, you're going to have nose gear lights as well. That's going to make this look even easier. Visually, it looks really good. It's really well defined. So from a pilot point of view, what you need is exactly there. I was just looking in the other direction, and you can see this with the same is true there too. So let's just track across the runway towards the cargo centre, and then we'll swing around landside and have a look at some of those buildings and see the lighting. But I really like the subtleness of it. This just looks really good. There's a subtleness about it. The lighting is really good. So here we are, landside of the cargo centre. And here you can see these buildings, various banks and things that are lit up at night, and they look really good. And this kind of tungsten yellow effect just really looks good. There's the Holiday Inn, palm trees there too. It's very nice. It looks great, certainly at night. I'm really quite impressed with it. Some of the buildings are pretty dark, like that one, which is a pity, but I guess they can't light everything. But this tungsten yellow lighting, I think, really works. It's good. It just looks really good. As you can see, they've chosen not to sort of light every building, but in my considered opinion, what they have done works and looks quite nice. Fuel farm, here we are. So let's swing back the other way. Again, you can see they've done some little lighting tricks and effects here that just make this look good. It really works. Interesting to see now what the landside part of the main terminal looks like. So let's go down a little bit. Pretty much all of the signs there are lit. It's a real pity that highway isn't in higher resolution like this bit is here. But that looks good. The terminal looks good there. As before, nice to have some of the cars parked. Let's just track across to the area where the aircraft is, the DC-10 restaurant. Little bit of lighting there, but not a lot. But look at this, even down to the petrol stations even got signs on it. So much to explore here. Marriott Hotel there. I mean, that looks really nice. It's very easy to say, well look, okay, they haven't lit this building, they've lit that one, but not that one, but not that one, so to speak. And yeah, you could always level that kind of criticism. But what they have done works, and I think it looks good. Okay, you could come back to this and say, right, okay, they might upgrade it and add a bit more and light most of the buildings around here. There's lots of things they could do to enhance this scenery, but I think as a first release, it's excellent. It's very, very good. And I love the way that looks from landside. So we just do a quick slow track towards airside across the main terminal building here. This is nice. It works for me, which is quite, I suppose, quite rare when you've got so much low resolution photo scenery with higher resolution stuff sitting on top. It's quite rare to find out that this actually works so well. So there you can see in the distance we're looking across to the VIP terminal and again the military apron. And looking down there towards Terminal 2 and Terminal 1 and the rest of the Terminal 3 main terminal there and the cargo apron. So all in all looking pretty good. So just the last look there at night time, showing you Terminal 3 there with the jetways, the buildings landside and that lovely orangey tungsten effect glow, and again you can see the detail on the ramp and the taxiway lines, the runway, very, very crisp and clear. So here we are just after 6 AM local time, and the airport is bathed in the morning sunrise. You can see the coast there to the left, and looking in the other direction it's another nice location. It's fairly flat. It's only 200 odd feet above sea level, but you've got mountains in the distance and lots of open land. And they're looking across the military apron with the sun coming up. Okay, so final thoughts to wrap up this review. We're now 20 to 8 in the morning. As you can see, the sun's well up. So, Kotoka International Airport in Accra in Ghana, the state of Ghana in southwest Africa. This is the only international airport in the country. This is a new Payware scenery by the Flight Sim Development Group, or Fsdg, coming in at 681 meg for download and installing into your community folder at 2.37 gigabytes. Price is €21.42, which equates to $23.25 US, or £17.94 UK. Prices include VAT and tax at 19% if you buy this from Fsdg online from their marketplace. Those prices may vary slightly depending on your country of purchase and what the tax VAT regulations are for your country. They're also available on Sim Market at a very slightly higher price, but we're only talking cents. My thoughts: I like this a lot. I didn't think I would, to be honest. When I first looked at it and looked at the amount of low resolution photo scenery, I thought, oh yeah, you know. But actually a lot of work's been done, and I was wondering whether it's worth the price, and now I believe it actually is. Okay, you could probably say it's probably worth nearer €19.5 rather than 21, but I'm not really going to argue about the odd euro here because they've done a lot of work. The airport is there in its entirety. Everything you need is there. The runway, taxiway, signage and lighting, especially at night, some of the best I've seen, is just as good as some of the top-notch sceneries. Ramp markings are really good. The attention to detail is magnificent, especially with the signage around the airport. The development of the airside lounge inside the main terminal is another plus, and these buildings look fantastic at night. And that whole tungsten orange glow, which is typical of the sort of lighting we used to have in Europe before we got into LED lighting and lighting that saves us more money. Obviously Ghana is a little bit of a third world country, and they haven't really got into that kind of thing yet, so they still have lots of this tungsten yellow orange lighting all over the place. But it works, it looks good, so I think it's a really good product. And it's probably roundabout, it's probably worth the price. I'm quite happy with it, because you have to admit that there's a lot of work being done, right down to this construction sites in the right places that are still being done. And again, we're in a situation where you can't always tell what is default and what they've added, because there's quite a bit that's been dotted about, which we've yet to look at to a great extent. I think it's really nice. It just works really well. Another little disclaimer: I bought the scenery. I wasn't sent the scenery free to review it. I bought it and paid for it, and I also bought the other Msfs scenery where we'll be reviewing it as well. Hope to release both of these reviews this week for you. But I thoroughly recommend this if you fancy flying somewhere in Africa, and it's great to see some African scenery starting to come along now. Accra is definitely worth the purchase, and certainly worth buying. I like it a lot. So this is Lee, your virtual airline pilot, saying thank you very much for joining me on another review. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and if you decide to purchase this scenery, just be aware of the installation procedure and make sure you have a look at their instructions, because it's not a straightforward install. There is a procedure that they use to locate your community folder. But apart from that, all should be well, and I'm certainly going to fly in here. It's certainly a place worth visiting, and the scenery is really nice. So once again, thanks for joining me. I will look forward to seeing you in the next review. This is Lee saying bye for now. Guys, have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye for now.